Hi, welcome everybody. Welcome to Intentionality, Unraveling the Secrets of the Universe. I am Chris Alicia, your host for the next hour. Now, the keys of Ascension, where they come from, is really ancient traditions from across the world. When you study history, when you study mythology, when you study symbolism, you'll see that there are patterns and information that crosses the world. You'll see that there is information that can be reflected across multiple different societies that had absolutely no interaction with each other. For example, ancient Egypt and the Mayans have similar symbology in the tree of life, in their origin story. The indigenous people of Australia have a similar story of origin as several of the tribes in Africa. So what I've done with the help of my guides is look at this ancient information and see where there's crossover, see where the information of Buddha and the information of Mary Magdalene complement each other and create for us a genuine path home. And the 7 is a universal number that I found corresponds to ascension. Jesus talked about 7 sins. They've been translated sins. Mary Magdalene has the 7 powers of wrath. Buddhism had the 7 steps to enlightenment. We have the 7 chakras inside of our body. The soul can be ascended in 7 steps. Alchemy has the 7 steps of spiritual transformation. These steps, when you look at them in totality as a whole unit, you'll see the crossover is undeniable. So that is what this season 2 for Intentionality is all about. It is about looking at these steps in depth and how they correspond throughout these ancient religions and try to really take in what our ancient ancestors were telling us, why they left these clues for us to find, why they left this information for us to find. So whether you are Buddhist, Catholic, Hindu, Muslim, or don't consider yourself religious at all, there are methods to help you along your journey as a human. And that's what I'm going to share with you. Now, if we look back onto step 1, which was I am awake. So step 1 is all about the awakening process. It is about opening your eyes to the fact that the world is more than what you can see and feel right now. Right? This world that we see and feel it's an illusion. All this information on the steps is coming from spirit, it's coming from my guides. This is not masterful Chris, the super intellect, although I'm not too bad. This information is coming from a divine place of love. So when I say spirit wants me to provide a message, that's what that is. That's my guides passing me a message of love. And I can feel their power today, just talking about steps 1 and step 2, how excited the world is about humanity's ascension process. It is absolutely incredible how many people have worked through those first 2 steps and are getting to the point where they are finding their own power. And this is a step that I'm very familiar with because I keep bouncing around it as well. If I don't get your questions, or if you see this episode later, please still leave your comments. I would love to hear about them. And also write me on Facebook. My challenge for you this week is to embrace how magnificent you are. And for me, the term, just like last week's was, I know who I am. This week is, this is me. This week, I challenge you to embrace you. No excuses, no fear. Embrace yourself as a magnificent being. That is what step 3 is about, finding your individual power. What does this all mean? Right? So you look at the different steps across these traditions, and it's very clear some of the similarities in these areas. This idea, sorry, I'm just pulling up the comment section, or attempting to. This is all about finding the power inside of you to not only acknowledge and love yourself, to embrace who and what you are, to find joy in it, and to power through. This is where you are coming into your own. This is you as a divine being, really stepping out for the first time. And at the same time, cutting out and minimizing the influence of other people's thoughts and judgments on you and on your process. That is a very difficult thing in itself. So with alchemy, it talks about separation. So we're separating the true from the false. We're separating our thoughts from the thoughts of other people. We're separating our thoughts from the truth of the situation. So we're trying to remove the thoughts that are false. So if you've been told your whole life that the only way successful is if you work 60 hours a week and you burn yourself to the ground, you have been told that your career is more important than your family, or that the only way to show love is to get married and have children. These teachings by themselves are not bad. Is it your truth? This is where you have to separate what you have been taught to think and do and feel from what your soul's truth is. So the other steps are telling you how to do that. So Mary Magdalene's, the solar plexus chakra is giving you techniques on how to distinguish truth from fiction. If you honor the solar plexus chakra and do meditations and focus on balancing and clearing out that chakra, you are naturally going through the alchemical separation process. If you face your journey with energy, with courage and passion and joy, then you are going through Mary Magdalene's step of ignorance. You're releasing the illusion of the world that need to judge and to take in judgment, because it doesn't matter to you. You have joy and happiness in yourself. All that judgment doesn't matter. It means nothing. It's nothingness. It's ignorance, not lack of intelligence. It isn't real. So finding your power, acknowledging your power, embracing your spiritual journey with enthusiasm and courage, and stop looking at the world as an external thing. Everything you need is in here. So looking at who and what you are, acknowledging that, honoring that, acknowledging the powerhouse that you are is step number 3. This is the point in your hero's journey when you acknowledge that you're the hero. If you read The Hobbit or Lord of the Rings or any of those books, you'll realize there's a very clear pattern that all of these books have, all these stories have, and it's the hero does not start out thinking that they're the hero. They don't acknowledge their role in this big picture, in this epic journey, until they find their own power, until they realize what they're giving back, what they add to the collective. That is very much this phase in the journey, is figuring out what your contribution is, what your powers are, what your purpose on this planet is, how you fit into society, not what you've been told, but where you truly fit. An incredibly, incredibly powerful step. So having the courage to trust your inner guidance, to trust the information that pops into your head, to trust your feelings is crucial. You stop listening with your your brain. You stop listening with this programming that you have had put into your system your entire life, and you start listening with your heart and acknowledging the truth of who you are. This is where you pass through. It's very much the crucible step, is passing through not just releasing your pain, releasing your ego. This is releasing everything that's ever been expected of you and coming up with your own damn expectations. This is acknowledging your own words, your own truth, your own thoughts. It is so much easier to follow than to lead. So I've got some tips how to help with this step, because it is so challenging. So when we talk about, oh, that didn't work. So we talk about power, your physical power, how to build your physical power up. Let's get my slides back on. Now the spiritual awakening is back to that prana breathing. So the prana breathing is breathing down through your diaphragm. You're going to breathe in through your nose, hold it at the top of the breath for at least a count of 2, and then breathe out slowly through your mouth. Now, after you do this for a couple minutes, when you start to feel yourself calming down, you are going to say out loud, all energy that I have given away or left behind will return to me now. All energy that I have given away and left behind will return to me now. You're using the power of the breath, which is again honoring that physical power and getting the energy around. And then you're invoking an action of the universe with your will, with your individual power. And you're saying all the energy that you've given to other people or that has been is going to return to you. This is an absolutely masterful technique. I learned this from Solara and Ra. Her meditations are fantastic. You can check her out. You do this a couple times, and it's not a long meditation. Just make sure that you call out loud, let all energy I have given away or left behind return to me now. And the second practice for spirituality comes from A Course in Miracles. So this is the first lesson in A Course in Miracles. And it's that nothing has any meaning. If you spend 1 minute each day looking around you and calling out everything in the room without filtering it and saying, this computer has no meaning. That camera has no meaning. These earrings have no meaning. This hand has no meaning. My skin has no meaning. And you say this without filtering everything in your immediate area that you can do in a minute. And you just let that, do this once a day for a minute, 2 minutes, however long you want to. This has no meaning. What you're doing is releasing that ignorance that Mary Magdalene talks about. You are pushing through what is real and what is not real. An incredibly powerful lesson from the Course in Miracles. So I'm running out of time here, but next week, I always put so much information into it. This is a great step, folks. This is you. This is you and your divinity. This is when you stand up and you say, I am freaking awesome. So please try the exercises. Check me out on intentionality.com or join me on Facebook. Join my group on Facebook, Intentionality, Unraveling the Secrets of the Universe. Get into the conversation. Tell me how you feel about this information. I do have a masterclass available on these steps where I work with you to go through each of these steps in depth with exercises every couple of days and one-on-one sessions, group sessions. I also have a couple slots open for mentorship. If you're interested in that, please send me an email at chrisalicia@intentionality.com or again, message me on Facebook.